And chat. How's it going, guys? It's been almost a week. Yay, power outages and all that. Oh, the controller turned off already. So, last time we completed the story. We got ending A of Nier. We got through the whole campaign. But there is New Game Plus, and apparently, once you New Game Plus, there's a whole bunch of extra content in the game, extra cutscenes, extra lore bits, all that jazz. So what we're going to do is we're going to play through the game, which, from what I'm told, the New Game Plus starts from the midpoint of the game and just goes on from there. So we aren't going to replay the whole thing. But we're going to replay the game. With all the extra content, and we're going to get ending B. And then that'll be the end. I'm not going to grind out the 1,000,000 gold it takes to get all the weapons for ending C and D. We're just going to aim for ending B. Now, I've also been told that New Game Plus starts out with a fucking novel about Kaine's backstory, so we're going to dive right into that.
Whenever I interacted with Kaine, I was reminded about something from my past. Maybe my mind has been confusing her with my sister this whole time. Here we go.
Thanks for the bits, Alana. Death by Kaine Salt. Kaine's dreams, discrimination. The sound of rain filled the village. The steep cliffs that surrounded the area magnified sound, causing even the slightest drizzle to rattle like a thunderstorm. Thin wisps of smoke streamed from huts as the villagers huddled in their homes and waited out the rain. A single child, however, had braved the downpour and was now wandering slowly toward the wooden, hawk-shaped weather vane at the center of town. The wanderer reached the vane, which had existed for as long as any could remember, and stared. The child's face was simultaneously delicate and fierce, like a teacup that had survived a shipwreck. Those traits combined with pale white skin to give the face an almost sexless quality. If the beak turns east, I go home. If it stays west, then I... The child blinked. Rain slowly dripped down the young one's short hair and began its long descent to the ground. Come on. Come on! The child felt a slight breeze and watched as the vane slowly creaked to life. Spinning this way and that for a moment, it finally settled with the beak pointing firmly toward the east. East? Really? Before the vane could move again, a jagged rock came spinning and tumbling through the air, finally striking home against the child's head. Wow, okay. The force of the blow dropped the child to the ground as a hail of stones began to fall all around. Oh no, they found me. A heartbreaking smile crept across the child's face as the stones continued their assault. Through the rain, the sound of multiple footsteps grew louder before a voice rang out. Yoo-hoo, Kaine! The voice belonged to Demo, worst of all the bullies in the area. As Kaine struggled to stand, a final stone came skittering through the mud and bounced against her foot. Blood oozed from a cut above her eye and blurred her vision, but she could make out the shapes of Demo and his usual gang of idiots. The boy seemed taken aback for a moment by Kaine's seeming indifference to the blood dripping from her face, but quickly regained his bravado. "What's up, freak? You like the rain? You like getting all wet? Or did you finally decide to run away from home?" Though she knew it was futile, Kaine turned to leave. Before she could get more than a few steps, the other children scrambled to surround her, cruelty burning in their eyes. Kaine knew those were not the only eyes on her. The tormentor's parents watched from the safety of their homes. She was attuned to this sensation. It was one she had experienced many times before. While some villagers simply turned a blind eye to the actions of their children, many encouraged it openly. In a society ruled by superstition and fear, Kaine was something to be hated and, if possible, destroyed. "I didn't say you could leave, freak." Demo's words chewed at her like a worm through an apple. "He can't hurt me," she lied to herself. "Be strong, be brave. He can't hurt me. He can't hurt me. He can't hurt—" "Oh, look, the little freak is gonna cry. What's wrong? Are you sad that everyone hates you and wants you dead?" Kaine prayed for the rain to flood down and carry her away from a world that seemed to have no place for her. But if there were gods, they chose to ignore her. As Demo crept ever closer, the clouds began to thin and the rain slowed. "Even the weather hates me. I'm useless, a failure. I wish Demo's rock had taken my head off." Kaine couldn't meet Demo's leering gaze. She lowered her eyes and stared at the muddy ground below. The bully moved forward until he was inches away. She could smell the scent of old meat on his breath. The boy grabbed Kaine's face with thick fingers and yanked it upward. She tried to turn away, but he forced her gaze back and jammed his thumb against her eyelid to pry it open. "You're a freak." "No, I'm not." "Did you just say no?" Demo grinned evilly. "You don't say no to me. No one says no to me." Not even taking his attention from Kaine, he called to his cohorts. "Come on, guys, let's give the freak what she deserves." As soon as Demo finished, kicks and blows began to rain down upon Kaine. Demo paused, still grinning, as Kaine curled into a ball and tried to make the pain stop. "I don't get you, freak. What you acting like a girl for, huh? Everyone knows what you really are." Kaine ignored the question, choosing instead to stare at the weather vane. It continued to point east, as if supremely confident about the future it had chosen for her. Go home? Yeah, that's a funny joke for someone with dead parents and no home to go to. "Freak!" chanted the children. "Freak! Freak! Freak!" Kaine closed her eyes and listened to the rain, waiting for the pain to start again. As the clutching hands of the village children closed around her, she bent her mind to the sound of the rain, letting it become her world entire. The rain fell, but the pain never came. Only when the laughter of her tormentors turned to terrified cries did she dare open a single blood-caked eye. Kaine was shocked to see Demo sprawled on the ground, holding his head and screaming in pain. She could see blood welling from spaces between his fat, twisted fingers. "Oh my God, he's crying! He's actually crying!" Deprived of their leader, the other children glanced back and forth between themselves, as if waiting for someone to step forward and take charge. When no savior emerged, they began an uneasy shuffle away from Kaine. But the young girl was the least of their concerns. Instead, their attention was rapt on the ancient woman standing a few feet away. After struggling for breath for a moment, she finally spoke in a voice thick with rage. "Hurts like a bitch, don't it? Now I suggest you scatter before I throw another one. And if any of you little bastards ever touch my Kaine again, I'll do far worse than throw a rock. You can count on it." The old woman crouched down and gently touched the hand Demo was using to cover the wound. Before he could think to protest, she ground her palm into the wound and twisted back and forth. Holy shit, Grandma? Ow! He screamed, leaping to his feet. Stop it! What are you doing? Quit whining. Ain't no one ever died from a scratch. You hit me with a rock, you stupid bitch. A big one. That thing could have killed me. The old woman shrugged. Death is the best cure for stupid. Oh, shit. Demo's face twisted with rage at her words. Locking his eyes on Kaine, he took a step backward and spat on the ground. Get out. Leave this village. No one wants you here, either of you. Seeing the old woman grab another stone, Demo and his companions turned tail and ran. Where's she getting the rocks from? They're out in the middle of a platform. As they fled, the old woman grabbed her side and barked out a single laugh. Ha! Look at the fat boy go. Guess he's healthy enough to run from a fight. The woman's smile faded as she turned her attention to Kaine. Kneeling down, she removed her shawl and placed it around the young girl's shoulders, then produced a cloth from the folds of her dress and began blotting at the blood on her forehead. Oh, Kaine, she said, why didn't you fight back? You're stronger than that lot. The words of her grandmother stung Kaine, and she turned away. Don't be nice to me, she said. I don't deserve it. Nothing matters anymore. Her tears, held in check for so long, finally began to fall on the muddy ground below. Everyone hates me. They think I cause bad things to happen. They think I'm a freak. I wish I was dead. As Kaine's tears turned to sobs, she felt her grandmother's hands on her shoulders. Despite her advanced age and diminutive size, she was a woman of surprising strength, and Kaine found herself unable to turn away. Don't talk like that, Kaine. It's a river wide and deep that flows between the realms of this world and the next, and it grants no mercy to any that attempt the crossing. You got a duty to fight until your last breath. Understand? The old woman tightened her grip and tried to still the tremor in her voice. You know the pain of losing someone close to you, Kaine. You know because you survived it. As the words hit home, Kaine was struck by the force of her love for the old woman. As a young child, she didn't even know of her grandmother, but when her parents died, the woman quickly accepted her as her own. Grandma, as Kaine called her, was cunning, vulgar, and quick to violence, and their first few years together had not been easy. But with each year that passed, Kaine and her grandmother had grown closer. However, it was only now, sitting in the mud with tears and blood caking her face, that Kaine truly understood the depths of her affection. Here was a woman who had seen hard times, who had seen death, who had fought through all these things and somehow emerged on the other side. If anyone could understand Kaine's pain and loneliness, it was her. Do I make you sick, Grandma? Course not. Don't be an ass. Kaine drew her grandmother's moth-eaten shawl around her body and shuddered. But my body, it's not normal. If I was normal, then Mom and Dad wouldn't... Hush, interrupted Grandma. I'll not hear another word of this nonsense. You're my granddaughter, and I love you, and if folks have a problem with that, they can just go to hell. With that, the old woman reached out and placed a wreath of dried flowers in Kaine's hair. The skill it took to bend the flowers without breaking the stems or losing a single petal was remarkable, and the beauty of it made Kaine want to cry all over again. Oh my gosh, these are lunar tears. Grandma, you made this for me? Lunar tears were legendary flowers. Most people could live their entire lives without ever seeing one. And yet her grandmother had somehow collected a dozen or more. Kaine reached up and touched the wreath as if she couldn't believe it was real. Where did you find these? Oh, you know, just stumbled on them one day while I was out doing the shopping. The old woman turned away as she was explaining, leading Kaine to suspect that the search had been much more difficult than she was letting on. The pains she took to construct the ornament, let alone track down the flowers used in its construction, made Kaine's heart hurt. She reached up and gently adjusted the wreath, admiring the way it felt between her fingers. "Didn't quite turn out right," said her grandmother as she squinted at it. "These old hands have trouble with delicate work, but it sure looks good on a pretty girl like you." Kaine blushed and turned away. You think I'm pretty?" "Course you are. What a fool thing to say." "Thank you, Grandma." Her grandmother smiled. "We're gonna be fine, you and me," she said. "Long as we got each other, we'll be just fine. Something tells me she's about to die." Kaine took her grandmother's hand in hers, and the two of them struggled to their feet. As they began the long walk home, Kaine gripped the hand with all her might, as if trying to stop smoke from drifting away on the wind. The rain had stopped. Kaine stood beneath the weather vane, watching it spin in lazy circles, no longer caring about the direction it faced when it stopped. "I don't need to escape. I have a home now. Grandma loves me, and that's enough. Even if it's us against the world." Kaine let her gaze drift up past the vane and into the cloudy sky. The last faint hints of a rainbow were slowly fading. As she turned and headed for home, the light scattered into a million particles and vanished, seemingly taken away on the breeze. Kaine's dreams, daily life. In the distance, Kaine heard the steady sounds of an axe striking wood. The noise had a purposeful quality to it, as if she was hearing a master woodsman go about his work. The firewood being produced, however, was as far from a work of art as could be. Pieces of every shape and size were being flung about a barren yard with wild abandon. Anyone trying to stack such wood would probably die of frustration before the job was through. "Stupid piece of shit axe!" Kaine's grandmother flailed away with the axe, filling the air with both splinters of wood and words that would make the most hardened sailor blush. "Grandma," called Kaine. "What?" yelled the old woman, taking her eyes off the wood for a moment. "Oh, it's you, Kaine. Don't get too close or I might take your goddamn foot off by mistake." She brought the axe down on a piece of wood, sending chips flying in every direction. One spun past Kaine close enough for her to hear the whistle, at which point she decided to step back. Once she'd scuttled to a safe distance, she cupped her hands around her mouth and shouted, "Grandma, do you need help? I can get you water or lunch or, a new axe or something." The axe, poised to strike another wobbly blow, paused in midair. The old woman considered her granddaughter's offer for a moment, then smiled. Tell you what, since I'm doing such a piss-poor job of chopping, why don't you come here and take over so I can go get the water? Shades have been restless lately, you know, and I don't want you running into one of them bastards." Relinquishing the axe, her grandmother picked up a long pole with wooden buckets on either end. Gathering water was by far the most difficult of the two jobs, but Kaine knew better than to complain. Once Grandma's mind was set, there was no changing it. Kaine did her best to help with chores, but Grandma took every task that required travel to the village. Though she had a long list of plausible excuses, Kaine knew the real reason. She didn't want her granddaughter to be taunted and harassed by the villagers. Once Kaine moved in, Grandma decided to take up residence a good distance from the area. Out of sight, out of mind seemed to be the best policy when it came to the villagers and her granddaughter. And rare were the days when any but the two of them could be found on the rocky acre of land they called home. Kaine enjoyed the solitude, but harbored a secret resentment that her grandmother was forced to spend her golden years in such a place. After watching her grandmother leave, Kaine turned her attention to the task at hand. She had never chopped wood before in her life, and soon discovered why the old woman hated the chore. Swing after swing of the axe produced only a tiny crack in the wood, and when she finally managed to connect with a solid stroke, the tool embedded itself in the log and refused to budge. Frustrated, Kaine swung the axe around her head and threw it, log and all, across the yard. Like a beast. Damn it! Crap! She suddenly understood the joy her grandmother felt in a good curse. Aw, baby's first swear words. Happier now, she picked up the axe, forced it from the wood, and resumed chopping. She had a natural skill with a blade, but the task was challenging, and blisters soon began to form on her small pink hands. This is tough, and my logs are all weird sizes. Spitting on her palms and ignoring the pain, Kaine redoubled her efforts. Just as she was developing a rhythm, Grandma returned from the village. Setting down her buckets with a small sigh, she took one look at the logs and coughed out a wheezy laugh. Pretty clumsy, girl. You better practice if you... Her grandmother suddenly collapsed to her knees, causing one of the buckets to wobble precariously. Eyes wide, Kaine dropped the axe and ran to her grandmother's side. Grandma! The old woman shook her head and pointed a trembling finger at the bucket. Get the bucket. Can't let it spill. Kaine steadied the bucket with a foot as she knelt by her grandmother. A small bit of water sloshed over the side and made a new home in the hem of her dress, but Kaine didn't notice. Grandma! Grandma, what's happening? Crazed with panic, she grabbed her grandmother by the shoulders and shook. After a moment, the woman lifted her arms and batted Kaine away. Stop that! Just stop now, she cried, breathing heavily. It ain't like I'm dying. Sure. Just tired from the trip is all. Kaine desperately wanted to believe her, but one look at the old woman's shaking hands and worn face told her more than words ever could. Her grandmother had lived a long, hard life, and it seemed the bill was coming due. The time when her grandmother watched over Kaine was ending. Sooner than either of them had feared, the positions would be reversed. The next morning, Kaine came to the side of her grandmother's bed and took her wrinkled hand. Grandma, you're sick and you need medicine. I'm going to the village. The old woman shook her head and tried to rise, but Kaine gently pushed her down. It's all right, she said. I'll be fine. Her grandmother fixed her with a gaze that could melt steel. After what seemed an eternity, she finally lowered her eyes and sighed. Well, I don't like it, goddammit. But I guess I should quit being so stubborn and let you grow up. The old woman watched as Kaine strapped on her boots and made her way down the road to the village. Hours later, as an unseen sun made its way across a dark and rainy sky, she was still watching. Kaine moved at a brisk pace, checking her pockets every few minutes to make sure the money her grandmother gave her was still there. Every noise caused her to spin on her heels, making sure she wasn't being stalked by a shade, or worse, Demo and his gang. But she encountered neither tormentors nor shades, and Kaine finally found herself at the entrance to the village. The few adults she could see glanced sideways at her, then muttered to each other behind raised hands before slinking away into the shadows. Her heart racing, Kaine took a series of rapid, shallow breaths and tried to calm herself. I have to prove myself. I have to help Grandma. I have to be strong. She chanted those words to herself over and over as she slowly made her way. Finally, her eyes settled on a rotund older woman who was angrily waving her arms in the air and telling anyone who would listen exactly what she thought of Kaine's presence. Hey, lady, said Kaine with a bravado she did not feel. Where's the apothecary? The woman's flabby cheeks shook in bewildered anger. How dare this thing speak to me, they seemed to say. But Kaine saw that her eyes held a different emotion. Fear. Yeah, we're both scared, lady. Trust me on this one. Which way? Kaine repeated. The woman pointed at a small building to her right before hitching up her dress and stumbling off in the other direction. Kaine cringed, expecting a stone to come flying from the assembled crowd, but none came. Her mind was filled with a strange sense of pride as she made her way to the apothecary. But the new emotion had little time to take root, for as soon as she opened the door, she noticed a familiar customer at the counter. It was Demo. He'd clearly been sent here on some kind of family errand, because his gang of followers was nowhere to be found. "Oh my God," he sputtered. What are you doing here, freak?" The insult was delivered without force, and Kaine happily ignored it. Stretching on tiptoes to see over the counter, she asked the shopkeeper for the medication. "Ha!" barked Demo. "That old bitch finally keel over?" "Go to hell, Demo." The boy's eyes grew so wide they seemed ready to fall out of his head. But before he could let fly a comeback, or worse, a punch, the apothecary told them to knock it off before he kicked them out of the store. Demo slunk out of the shop, cursing Kaine under his breath. Once he was gone, she allowed herself to breathe once more, taking a brief tour of the shop while the owner prepared her medication. Countless tiny bottles filled the cramped store, each with a label written in some indecipherable language. An ocean of aromas assaulted her nose, creating a scent that was exotic, but not altogether unpleasant. Seeing such a variety of supplies gave Kaine a sense of peace. Surely, in a world so vast, there would be a place that she could call home. On the far wall, behind the counter, rested a portrait of a stunning young girl. The picture had once contained bright, vibrant colors, but time had worked its magic, and they were beginning to fade. The beauty of the work, however, remained undiminished. "You like that picture?" Kaine turned to find the apothecary with a small vial of medicine in his hand. His eyes were gentle but sad, and they seemed to stare through her and into nothing as he spoke. "That's my daughter. I sketched it when she was just a little girl. She's been dead a long time now." Kaine didn't know how to respond. She just stared at the portrait and tried to come up with the right words. "Pictures are wonderful things," continued the shopkeeper. "They let the ones closest to you live on forever." He shook his head slightly, then looked down at Kaine and smiled. Handing her the medicine, he reached into his sizable green apron and produced a handful of old wax crayons. "You should have these. There's no one left that I wish to draw." Kaine took an instinctive step back, causing the shopkeeper's face to darken. "Yes, I've heard the rumors about you," he said. "It's a small village, and word travels quickly. Between you and me, I'm not sure which of them to believe, but I also don't think they matter much. I knew your grandmother, Kali, and I think the way she was driven out of this town is just deplorable." "Grandma's name is Kali?" thought Kaine suddenly. "I didn't know my mom's name was Heather till I was like 10. She was still mulling this new fact over in her mind as she reached out and gently took the crayons from the apothecary's hands. "Your grandmother is an old friend of mine," he said as Kaine scooted away yet again, "and I owe her much. I'm willing to wager that she would like it if you drew a picture of her. Yes, I think she would like that very much." Kaine murmured a quiet agreement, but inside her heart was bursting. Never before had a villager treated her with anything but complete contempt. It was a tiny, almost imperceptible step, but it was a step nonetheless. And with enough tiny steps, she might one day discover the rest of the world. When Kaine returned home, she found her grandmother asleep in her bed. Her feet were blackened and raw, even bleeding a bit in places, leading Kaine to think that she had been pacing around the room until exhaustion finally caught up with her. She placed the medicine by her grandmother's pillow and turned to leave, but found the old woman's hand clasped around her arm. "Back already, are you?" asked her grandmother with a yawn. "Come here, let me have a look at you." Grandma sat up and examined Kaine from head to toe. Finally satisfied that nothing terrible had befallen her grandchild, she reached back and allowed herself to relax. "Well, how was it? Did those bastards give you any trouble? It was kind of fun, said Kaine with a small smile. No, seriously, it was. It was fun, was it? Asked her grandmother in a voice which implied she believed anything but. Uh-huh. So anytime you need me to run an errand, just let me know. As she spoke, Kaine removed the crayons from her pocket. After a brief explanation of their source, she informed her grandmother that she was going to sketch her picture. A portrait of me? Ridiculous. No one wants to stare at a wrinkled old crone. But Grandma, it'll make you live forever. Horse manure, said her grandmother, throwing back the sheet from her bed. Living forever would just piss me off. Now put those crayons away and help with dinner. But Kaine would not relent, and in the end, Grandma found herself leaning against the wall of their house as if posing for a master artist. Kaine took up the crayons and eyed her subject carefully. Just as her grandmother was about to nod off, Kaine finished the work. After staring at it for a bit, she released it from her grip and let it slowly drift to the floor. It's terrible. It doesn't look like you at all. I'm sorry, Grandma. I thought these crayons would, make drawing easy or something. The old woman's eyes narrowed at her granddaughter's disappointment. Let me be the judge of that, she said, ignoring the pain in her back and reaching for the paper. The sketch could have been a person's face. It also could have been a boulder, a lump of clay, or an incredibly misshapen loaf of bread, all rendered in a chaotic array of colors. The old woman stared at the picture for a long time, then slowly wheezed out a laugh. Oh, Kaine, she said between laughter, you truly are my blood. You're as clumsy as me, and I love it. But... Hush. I won't hear any more bull about how ugly you think it is. It came from the heart, and I'll treasure it always. True to her word, the old woman gave the picture a place of honor above the kitchen table. In the days that followed, Kaine would often catch her staring at the portrait with a strange smile on her face, an action she interpreted as silent, mocking laughter. A week later, Kaine could stand it no more and asked her grandmother to take the artwork down. Posh, said the old woman. I'll take this down when they roll me in my shroud. Oh, Kaine's going to put that in her grave, isn't she? She pondered this for a bit, then turned to Kaine and dropped to one knee. Listen to me, girl. Seeing this picture makes me happy in a way I've never felt before. And it makes me want to go on, so that someday you can feel the same happiness. It was a moment that burned itself in Kaine's memory, a perfect blend of pride and love and joy that came together to form a lifelong remembrance. She swore to never forget this moment, to never forget the old woman who had made her place in the world possible. Time moves on. People and memories come in and out of a life like ghosts passing through a hall. But this moment will be different, Kaine swore, because I will remember it forever. Forever. Kaine's dreams, separation. Holy crap, I've been reading for half an hour. Kaine listened to the sound of crackling firewood and stared at the black object on her plate. She'd been pushing it around the wooden disc for a good 10 minutes, ignoring the bemused stare of her grandmother. Finally, she summoned her courage and gave the object a brief sniff. A sharp, bitter scent flew up her nostrils and made its home there, causing her face to twist with disgust. Grandma, I can't believe you want me to eat a bug. The old woman threw some more wood under the cooking pot and snorted. It's no bug, you fool girl. It's a berry. Why in the hell would I be feeding you bugs? Yeah, well, it sure looks like a bug, said Kaine, and I think it's burnt or something because it smells terrible. With that, Kaine held her nose and threw the berry in her mouth, chewing as little as possible. Oh, yeah, that's terrible, all right. Why, you little brat, laughed the old woman. Look at the sass on you. You've been spending too much time with me, and that's a fact. 5 years had passed since the moment when Kaine's grandmother had saved her from the bullies. As is often the way with two stubborn people, their relationship had grown in fits and starts, but moved forward all the same. Meals that used to be somber affairs were now filled with laughter and hurled abuse in equal measure. Kaine could not remember a time when she had been happier. As the years went by, Kaine started to shoulder more and more of the daily responsibilities. Her grandmother's legs grew weaker by the day, and she could no longer do many of the chores she used to take for granted. And so this morning found Kaine lacing up her work boots with a breakfast of burned berry rolling through her belly. "Where are you going today?" asked Grandma suddenly. Kaine looked up, surprised. The old woman rarely asked for specifics anymore. "Well, I was going to check out the kelma trees and see if they were ripe. I thought we could make some jam or something. Oh, and I'm going to pick up some flagstones, so I need to take the wheelbarrow." "Flagstones? What in the hell for?" Kaine stared at her grandmother, then held out an arm and swept it around their home. Constructed mostly of cloth, rope, and rubble, the old place sagged like a boxer in the final round. "Grandma, a dying cat could chew through this house. I'm going to build a stone wall so we have some protection." The old woman laughed, exposing her toothless grin to the world. "God damn, girl, if a bunch of thieves want to ransack this old place, let 'em come. We got nothing worth stealing anyway." "I'm not worried about thieves. I'm worried about shades. People saw one west of the village yesterday." The old woman tilted her head and stared at her granddaughter. "Well, shoot. I don't know why you have to do it today. We can worry about it some other—" "Grandma, no. If I don't go to the kelma trees, we won't eat tonight. You know that." A confused expression passed across the old woman's face, and for a moment she was a small child lost at a carnival. "Yes," she said after a bit. "Yes, of course you're right. I'm sorry, Kaine. Lately it seems my mind is—" She didn't finish the thought, instead walking over to her nightstand and gently taking the wreath of lunar tears from the drawer. The flower's petals had aged to a brilliant whiteness, and Kaine thought it was more beautiful now than the day she first received it. "You're going to be a true woman soon," Grandma said as she placed the flowers in the girl's hair. "So that means less chatter about shades and building defensive walls and more talk about how beautiful you've become." Annoyed, Kaine reached up to remove the garland, but the look on her grandmother's face stopped her hand. "You're a beautiful thing," said the old woman, "and there ain't another like you in all the world. I'm very proud of you." "Okay, Grandma, that's enough goddamn compliments for one day." "Such a mouth on you. Where did that come from?" "Gee, I wonder." "I'll teach you to sass me, girl," yelled Grandma. Suddenly, she lurched forward and grabbed Kaine by the ears, pulling her around the room with a crazed grin on her face. "Grandma!" yelled Kaine in a quaking voice. "Grandma, stop it! What the hell?" The old woman stared at her and blinked, then slowly held her wrinkled hands out as if it was the first time she had ever seen them. I don't know what happened there. I'm sorry, girl. Sometimes my mind just—" Kaine thought the look on her grandmother's face was the most heartbreaking thing she had ever seen. "Listen," she began, "maybe I should stay home after all." "No, I won't have you stay here to keep an eye on an old codger like me. You go get your fruit and your wall and whatnot. I'll be fine. And when you come back, I'll have a nice grasshopper dinner waiting for you." Kaine rolled her eyes, then kissed her grandmother on the forehead and made ready to depart, trying desperately to ignore the worry that was gnawing at the walls of her heart. Kaine could feel the old woman's eyes watching her as she moved down the path. "Don't turn around, don't turn around," she told herself, but in the end the temptation was too great. She spun on her heel for one final look and saw a small, bent woman standing in front of a ramshackle hut with a sad expression on her face. God, she looks so old now. It's like the wind could reach down and just carry her away. Kaine worried about her grandmother all day, causing her work to suffer. What little fruit she could collect was tossed carelessly into the wheelbarrow, and she only found a couple of stones before losing interest in the project. Finally, as dusk approached, she decided to call it a day. Cursing herself for the lack of focus, Kaine pushed the nearly empty wheelbarrow back down the path. As she crested the final hill, she suddenly froze in place. The wheelbarrow fell from her fingers and collapsed on its side, sending a few pieces of wrinkled brown fruit rolling back down the hill. Her gaze was transfixed by a thick black cloud that hovered just ahead. Tracing its path with a finger, Kaine suddenly felt her stomach knot in on itself. No. Oh, gods, no. Her grandmother's house was ablaze, the flames licking up as if trying to touch the sky itself. Grandma? Grandma! Kaine ran then, faster than she had ever moved in her life. Once she tripped on a stone and went sprawling into the rocky ground, but she leapt to her feet and continued running, unmindful of the blood that spilled from her wounded hands and knees. As she got closer and closer, Kaine's mind began to race in time with her footfalls. It's too dark. It's too dark. Not just fire. Can't be fire. Too much smoke. Gotta save her. Gotta save her. She burst into the front yard and came to a sudden halt, her worst suspicions confirmed. The smoke from the fire was mingling with the thick, inky blackness of an enormous shade. The massive creature supported itself on 3 twisted feet and achieved balance through means of a large armored tail. Scales, horns, and claws sprouted from its body in a random, chaotic pattern, giving it the appearance of a lizard designed by some insane god. Seeing Kaine, it let out a roar and flicked its tail, sending small whirlwinds spinning around the yard. For a moment the creature retreated into a shimmering, inky blackness, as if her mind was unable to comprehend that such a thing could actually exist. But then the smell hit her, a blend of rotted meat and excrement, and the horror became real once more. Oh, do shades smell bad? Interesting. The creature bellowed again, and this time Kaine responded with a scream of her own. All right, you bastard, she thought as her scream echoed off the high cliffs around them. It's you or me. Let's go. The shade eyed Kaine with bemused interest. Then it began looking from her to the house and back again, as if urging her to look at the destruction it had so gleefully wrought. With dread building in her heart, Kaine glanced toward the house. Through the smoke and flames, she spotted a small figure struggling to escape the ruins. Grandma! At the sound of her voice, the old woman began waving frantically. She's alive, thought Kaine. She's alive! Kaine's legs sprang to life as she raced across the yard toward the flaming wreckage of the house. Before she could advance more than a few steps, the shade opened its mouth and let out a roar, powerful enough to uproot trees and send them flying. The blast sent Kaine tumbling through the air before smashing her against the rocky earth. Stars danced in front of her eyes as she tried to remember how her legs worked. Get up. Get up. Get up, get up, get up, get up now. As Kaine struggled to her feet, the shade stomped toward the house and pinned her grandmother to the ground with the tip of a claw. The old woman struggled to move the claw from her stomach, but she might well have been pushing a mountain. She coughed briefly, sending a small spray of blood into the air, then collapsed to the ground, her energy spent. Kaine lurched to her feet only to fall back to earth with a gasp. Her anchors were on fire. One or both of them were surely broken. Ignoring the pain that screamed through her body, she began dragging herself across the ground, leaving a drunken trail of dust and blood in her wake. Grandma, hold on. Just a little longer. Her grandmother's face was turning blue, her eyes rolling back until only the whites were exposed. Kaine pulled herself across the ground with maddening slowness, the distance seeming to increase with every second that passed. The shade glanced between the two women and flicked out its tongue, its giant mouth turning up at the corners. Short, panting breaths belched from somewhere deep inside its core. Bastard. laughing at us. She had no idea how such a mindless creature could experience emotion, but there could be no doubt that the Shade was taking joy in their suffering. Yeah, I see your plan. The Shade moved its claw slightly, allowing Grandma to breathe again. It was clearly keeping her alive, only to snuff out her life when Kaine was close enough to touch her. I'm gonna kill this bastard. Summoning all her strength, Kaine rose to her feet. There was a sickening snap from her right ankle as the foot twisted backwards, but she forced it from her mind and began to hobble toward the monster. Pulling a small knife from the pouch at her waist, she leapt on the foot that pinned her grandmother and plunged the weapon deep. "Give her back," she screamed. "Give her back to me." It was like stabbing a rock. After a few swipes, the knife broke at the hilt with a dull snap. The Shade panted laughter again, then raised its tail and sent it rushing through the air toward the young girl that was latched to its foot. Kaine never had a chance. The tail struck her square in the chest and sent her crashing into the burning wreckage of the home. As she lay on the ground with blood pouring from multiple wounds, a small, weak voice spoke up. "Kaine?" Kaine's vision blurred, but she forced herself to focus on the sound. Finally, her eyes cleared enough for her to make out her grandmother's hands reaching out to her through the smoke. "Grandma?" "Kaine, you've got to run. You can't defeat him." Kaine grabbed the hands and held on with all her strength. "Grandma, come on. We have to go." The old woman coughed loudly. One of her hands, slick with blood, slipped from Kaine's grasp and thumped to the ground below. "Grandma, no! No!" "I said run, goddammit. You have to live. You have to get through." The thought would stay forever unfinished. Before she could say another word, the Shade's clawed foot descended, smashing through the remains of the roof and down upon the shattered figure of the old woman. Blood oozed thickly from gaps in the creature's toes as the terrible putrid smell assaulted Kaine's nose once again. She stared at the foot, dumbfounded, convinced that what she was seeing could not possibly be real. When the creature finally lifted its appendage, all that remained underneath was a twisted, unrecognizable mass of rubble and red. Her grandmother was gone. Kaine blinked, trying to feel the hands which had been in hers just a moment before. For a fleeting instant, she could remember the warmth of that embrace, the trembling of the fingers, but then the sensation drifted away on the breeze and was gone. Memories flashed through Kaine's mind, one after the other, faster and faster, until they became a meaningless jangle of noise. Kaine screamed then, a thunderous sound that echoed off the cliffs and seemed to roll away forever. The Shade eased forward, black ichor pouring from its mouth and dissolving into smoke on the ground below. The earth shook with every step as it crept toward its prey. Kaine's body slowly rose as if controlled by a mad puppet master. Her arms and legs were bent at impossible angles, her head lolled dangerously to the side. Yet, somehow, she managed to stand. Staring at the Shade, her eyes began to glow with a deep red fire. The creature, so confident just moments before, took a slow, hesitant step backward, trying to discern if this broken human could possibly pose a threat. I rolled to intimidate the dragon. Kaine seized the moment. Laughing like a madwoman, she leapt into the air and plunged the shattered hilt of her knife deep into the leg of the Shade. The Shade shook Kaine off like a fly, sending her crashing to the earth once again. Her chest rose and fell slowly, as if a great weight were resting on it. Moist sounds of pain echoed through her mind. Something warm and thick oozed from her ears. Is that blood? Think it is. Think I'm bleeding to death. No, can't die. Grandma told me to live. Deep inside Kaine's mind, something finally broke. The sound, the pain, the smoke and flames, all of it faded away until all that remained was a single incantation repeated over and over again. Kill it. 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 Okay, I'm not reading all those. Kill it now. As the spark that was Kaine slowly began to flicker and die, she felt her desire to kill and her desire to live blend into one. The distance between heartbeats grew longer, and longer, and longer. Well, that was 50 minutes of straight reading.
The beast approaches.
Oh, I got it.
Well, that was 50 minutes of reading. I need a drink. Let's see if I remember how to play. I am wielding the Phoenix Sword. Cool. Oh, I'm taking him down in one hit, right.
What anger this creature must have. How did it even survive these past 5 years?
I'm not gonna let this happen again. He dies today. My sword feels lighter.
It's not the blade, the skill of the user. Strike him down.
2 hits. Okay, there we go. 1 hit. Damn. Yeah, squish him. Pop him like a pipple. Yeah, there you go. $69 rips for Grandma. Thanks for the bits, Alana. Oh, more. Okay. Kaine's dreams encounter. Gently, weakly, softly. The shade, sure that its tormentor was dead, turned and stomped off toward the horizon, stopping along the way to bellow one final roar. Tormentor? Really? Does she count as a tormentor after that little effort? Or that little result? Couldn't kill it. So sorry, Grandma. Couldn't avenge you. Shamed beyond imagining, Kaine tried to turn her head to the side, but only succeeded in coughing up a huge gout of blood. It was getting difficult to see, and only after a moment of fierce concentration did she realize that her left eye was gone. Shit! Laughing to herself, she turned her remaining eye to the ruins of her home and noticed a ragged stump of an arm resting a few feet away. Yeah, that's mine, she thought with a mad giggle. This is going to make clapping a real bitch. Ha! Cried a sudden voice from the depths of her mind. Finally going to die, are ya? Well, you had it coming. Go to hell, Demo, she thought at the unseen assailant. Go to hell before I pluck out your eyes and feed them to a dog. The voice of her childhood terror evaporated into smoke, only to be replaced by another, more recent voice. Hold still, said the apothecary, materializing from the ruins like a ghost. I want to draw you. That way you can live forever. No. Stop. Don't want to live forever. Want to die right here. I see, he said quietly. Well, if that's how you want it. The spectral shopkeeper fluttered in and out of existence for a moment, then produced a piece of paper and sketched quickly. After a few seconds, he turned the page to Kaine and smiled. Since you rejected my offer, I decided to draw someone else. It was a picture of her grandmother, real as life. Kaine opened her mouth to thank the man, but stopped as the picture began to blacken in the middle. Before she could say anything, thousands of multi-legged insects began to swarm across the image, tearing at it with sharpened pincers. "Stop! No! Don't hurt that picture!" Kaine reached out with her remaining arm and waved futilely at the air. To her surprise, the insects fell off the picture and to the ground below, where they vanished into tiny black tendrils of smoke. Relieved, Kaine turned her good eye back to the picture, only to open her mouth in a silent scream. The sketch now showed her grandmother as she truly was, a smashed, unrecognizable lump of nothing. The apothecary smiled, then broke into a jolly dance. "See that?" he cried as he danced his jig. "It's perfect now. She looks just like you. Ha-cha-cha-cha!" "I look like that? Oh, God. Oh, God, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die." Drowning in despair, Kaine laid her head back in the mud and smoke of her ruined house and waited for the end to come. But just before she let everything go, an unfamiliar voice began whispering in her ear. "Ain't you got a wish, sunshine?" The voice was vulgar and fierce at the same time, as if insanity had somehow found a way to take form. Kaine wanted to scream as the voice crawled under her skin, but her lungs refused to work. "You know, a wish? Like a prayer or something? Why don't you get on your knees and start praying to heaven? Please, invisible man in the sky, save me! Save me!" Kaine finally resorted to shouting at the voice with her mind. "I don't make wishes. They don't come true for me. I'm a curse, a freak. I should be left to die." The other voice boomed in her ears. "Oh, God, you are the best!" Kaine glanced down and saw a black, shiny substance oozing from her legs. She tried to brush it away, but her remaining arm would no longer respond. The substance slowly crept around her feet and then began moving up toward the rest of her body. Is this death? Is this what it's like? Or is my mind just losing itself? She could feel the slime oozing upward, feel the hot, searing pain it left in its wake. Whatever else might be happening, she was still alive, and this was real. "Come on," said the voice. "Let it go." Kaine tried to ignore the voice and concentrate on the pain, but the newcomer would have none of it. "Don't ignore me, sunshine. You're ready to give up, ready to die, so why not let me have it?" "Have what?" "Your body. Come on, give it to me. Give it to me. I want to stand on the ground, feel the rain, taste the wind." The voice paused as if licking its lips. When it resumed, it was filled with mad, unabated joy. "And I want to take your hands and use them to choke the goddamn life out of people. I want to tear out their throats and bathe in the blood, just like before." In response, Kaine shifted her head and vomited. The warmth of it crept down her front and mingled with the pain of the encroaching black ooze. Are you a shade?" "Yeah, maybe. What of it?" The slime reached her face, crept up past her nose, and slowly oozed into the socket of her missing eye. The moment it touched her brain, Kaine was struck by the most powerful sensation she'd ever felt in her life. It was ecstasy. She wanted to scream with delight, but all she could manage was a small, whispered moan. "Feels good, don't it?" asked the voice with a chuckle. "Yeah, what can I say? I know how to please the ladies. Now gimme that body. Come on, gimme the body and I'll give you more of this feeling. It's a fair trade." A black lump began to protrude from Kaine's side, As she watched, it grew longer and thicker, eventually taking the form of her missing arm. I can see better, she thought. My eye must be growing back, too. The slime reached up to envelop the rest of her face, but she managed to brush it away. Stop, she whispered, marveling at how she had regained her voice. Stop. The black ooze hesitated, as if considering this request, then quickly shimmered down her body before disappearing in a cloud of smoke. "Oh, what the hell, Sunshine?" screamed the voice. "We had a deal. I thought you wanted to die." "Grandma said I can't die yet." A brief image of her grandmother, bloodied and broken, flashed before her eyes. She saw the shade that had killed her and heard its mocking laughter, then closed her eyes and forced the image from her mind. Her whole body was quaking with rage. When she opened her eyes again, they burned bright red. "That thing took my grandmother. I have to kill it before I die." Kaine glanced down and saw a mysterious pattern, the pattern of the shades, burn itself into her left arm. "Well, I'll be damned," said the voice cheerfully. "Look at that, Sunshine. I think you and me are going to be good friends now." Kaine stared intently at her arm. The more emotional she felt, the more the letters seemed ready to puncture her skin and begin infecting the rest of her body. The arm clearly had a will of its own now. "Stop! Gotta stop!" Holding her left arm in her right, Kaine took a deep breath and tried to calm herself. "Come on, don't fight it," pleaded the voice. "Hate's my favorite dish, and I'm hungry." "Let it go. Feel the anger. Burn with the fire of revenge. Thirst for blood, and then go out there and..." "Shut up. Shut up and get the hell out of my body." "Your body? Oh, that's rich, Sunshine. Real rich. Look, why don't you just up and die so I can have this body all to myself? What do you say? I bet those buddies of yours in the area would love to see you dead." Kaine grabbed a nearby shard of glass and tried to saw off the shade-infected portion of her side. Yikes! Before she could, her darkened left arm grabbed her right wrist, crushing it. Kaine screamed and dropped the shard as the sound of bone crunching on bone filled the air. "Stupid idiot girl. You're possessed now, Sunshine, and there ain't no going back." The voice laughed again, a loud, long wail that seemed to go on without end. "Possessed?" whispered Kaine. "Yeah, possessed. You and me, we got what you might call a timeshare arrangement. Remember how folks used to think you were a freak? Well, wait till they get a load of you now." Kaine looked up, tears in her eyes. The sky seemed smaller somehow, darker. Is this because of that shade? Is this how they see the world? "So, listen," purred the voice. "I know this whole possession thing seems a bit sudden, but it ain't all bad. There's plenty in it for you, too. I'm a very powerful creature, Sunshine, and now that power belongs to you. You got enemies? People you want to kill? I can make it happen. That little fat kid who kept picking on you? That big old shade that squashed your granny? We'll wrap them up in their own assholes. No more abuse for you, Sunshine. No more pain." "Wait," said Kaine. "You're a shade. Why would you help me kill another shade?" "What, do you think I'm some kind of racist? Some killing snob? I don't give a good goddamn who you murder, honey pants. I just want to drink from the well." Kaine considered this as she struggled to her feet, the power of the shade coursing through her. The smoke from her house was drifting away with the wind, and she enjoyed the way the cool evening breeze felt on her new left arm. After a long pause, the voice spoke up again. "So, how about it? You and me? We could have some good times together. Look, I'll even take care of the bloody part if you don't want..." "Fuck off, asshole," muttered Kaine. "I'll handle the killing." screamed the voice. "Look at you go! Oh, sunshine, we're gonna have so much fun." "So listen, my name's Tyrion, and if you ever need me, I'll just be hanging out in this piece of meat you call a heart. Now get to it. The more you kill, the more your heart turns rotten and sour, and I like rotten and sour." Kaine found herself nodding at the voice. "Yeah," she said. "Yeah, I think this can work. I'm going to find that shade, and I'm going to strangle it with its own guts. And when I'm done, I'm going to do the same to you, Tyrion. Count on it." "Ha!" laughed Tyrion. "I've shit bigger than you, so good luck with that. Oh, and hey, one more thing. Right now, you and me are sharing this body, but if you ever run out of hate, if you ever, go soft, then I'm going to take over everything. So keep on killing, sunshine, and watch your back." The voice grew fainter and gradually faded away, fading to somewhere deep inside Kaine herself. Kaine waited until she was sure the voice was gone, then waved her new left arm around a few times. "It feels perfectly normal," she thought. "It feels like mine." Desperately, she began poking and prodding at the new limb, determined to find something wrong with it. She didn't want it to feel normal. That would mean the creature inside her had already won. "I am not a shade. I am Kaine." Repeating this mantra in her mind, she slowly began digging through the rubble of her house, being careful to ignore a certain red-stained spot in the corner. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity of heartbreaking work, she found what she was looking for. It was the wreath of lunar tears. Though it had been through hell and back, the garland's petals were as bright as ever. Kaine started to place it in her hair, then slowly lowered the wreath and stared at it. "I'm sorry, Grandma. I'm so sorry. But I don't deserve to wear this anymore. I'm possessed, corrupted, a freak. And this time I don't think there's any going back." Holding the flowers to her heart, Kaine fell to the ground and sobbed. As night gradually lightened to dawn and the people of the area rose to their daily lives, she remained in that position, as if tears could somehow wash away the horror that now infected her world.
Alive. Stay alive.
Educated warrior.
Kaine, gotta live. Come back to us.
Emil, you were the one calling me, huh?
You still recognize me?
Yeah, sure. I knew you right away.
Thank you, Kaine.
Good to see you, Kaine.
You look like shit. How long has it been?
5 years.
Oh, that's a long time. Any luck with Yona?
We are still no closer to finding her. We need a way to locate the Shadow Lord.
This is for you.
Lunar Tears. Did you make this?
Just a little welcome back gift. It's not much, I know.
It's nothing like the one Grandma used to make, but... oh, hell. Thanks.
Excuse me.
Excuse me, what the fuck?
We did it. We freed Kaine.
That's great. Listen, can I talk to you for a minute?
This doesn't make sense.
Please, try to understand. People are tired and scared, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry you have to bear the brunt of that.
It's crap.
It sure is.
It's okay.
Especially from these two.
We can sleep outside.
No one's sleeping outside. You and Kaine saved this village, and now they want to run you out?
People are afraid of us. And really, I understand. I mean, look at me. As long as you're still with us, I can deal with it. Right, Kaine?
I'm used to sleeping outside.
I'm sorry.
So used to it that she never takes her night clothes off.
We'll see you later.
We're sorry.
No, you're not.
What is the matter?
Kaine always sleeps outside. I never thought about that until just now. How could I have not noticed that? How selfish am I? What the hell is wrong with me?
We should turn in.
I didn't get much sleep that night. I wanted to blame Devila for everything. I wanted to grab Popola and strangle her. But anger won't accomplish anything. They said and did what they did for the sake of the village. For the sake of protecting it from the horrifying threat of the Shades. Yeah, sure. If Devila and Popola are to blame, then I am equally at fault. For not stopping for a moment to think about Kaine and Emil. Sleep well? Sure. Well, if you say so. I need to go see Devila and Popola. Very well. Gold moonflower seed. 900 gold. God, we're an hour and 20 minutes into this stream. I was reading for an hour and 10 minutes. Well, most of an hour and 10 minutes. Okay, how the hell do I start gardening? I was told it was somewhere over here, but like... Okay, I can't just plant them. Through the novel, the most difficult part of New Game Plus. There's no prompts to interact with. I can't use the seeds from my inventory. Can't talk to the chicken. The garden is a place that plants can grow in Nier Replicant and Nier Gestalt. It is next to Nier's house. In the first half of the game, planting space can be earned by completing quests for the gardener in the hometown. If these quests are missed, a cultivator's handbook can be bought from her for 10,000 gold. Okay, so I have to spend 10 grand on it. How much money do I even have? Oh, I have 20 grand. You know what? Screw it. Let's do that. I started Undertale, I got to Snowden, and then life just took me away from the game for 4 years.
Man, I'm bushed.
Wait, gardening takes real time, doesn't it? Just the man I wanted to see. Do you have a moment? Maybe. Our water wheel... Okay, there's the water wheel quest. Gardening takes real time. I'm probably going to just do this stream and another one if it takes that long. Let's get the quest for the old lady in Seafront. Let's do that side quest. Where's... Oh, I have to go actually talk to them before she shows up back here. Udder.
Oh, you. Yeah, I'm kind of busy now. Man, I'm bushed.
Nothing stopping me from time traveling. Yeah, but I don't want to go through all that effort. And on stream. No. Oh my god, I'm being cornered. Help! You're an asshole, but I love your singing voice.
Hey,
Hi. I kind of thought you'd never talk to us again. This is bigger than you or Popola. It's about the whole damn village. I've seen this. Popola? Oh, hello. Look, I want to apologize for No, don't you dare. You had every right to be upset. I understand why you did what you did, even if I don't agree. You're just trying to protect the villagers. It's not your fault. Well, I still feel terrible, just so you know. Ahem. I believe there was something you wished to discuss with us. Oh, right. Yes, about that. You know about the Lost Shrine, right? The temple where I was first discovered. That's it. And it seems that the Shadow Lord's lair is connected to it somehow. Why is she giving us information? Is she... Android without a choice? Well, that's the thing. I think... I mean, she could be luring me there so that the Shadow Lord can take my body, but that's not really necessary. A Shadow Lord can just show up and take my body if he wants. It was right under our pages the whole time. But the entrance is sealed off, and the bridge that led us there. So take a boat. A boat? Yes, the trade waterway's been repaired. We've been using it a lot recently. With all the shades running around, it's safer than trying to cross the plains. There's a landing point near the path to the Lost Shrine's back entrance. I let the ferryman know about you. He'll take you wherever you need to go without charge. That should make it easier for you to move from town to town. Well, hopefully the extra content in New Game Plus will actually will let us see more inside devil and Populus heads, among other things. So much for me. Can't believe I was such an ass to you earlier. Told you not to worry about it. Alright, I'll see you around. For the love of everything, be careful. I need your body. Wait a minute. This side quest, did I do that in the first half of the game or the second? Do completed side quests stay completed? That seems... Okay, so completed side quests stay completed. That seems like it's trouble if you use all your money for stuff. Because then you can't get the money again. Alright, Devila. Huh, it's weird that the second half of the game... The plot of the second half of the game never takes you to Seafront.
Oh, you.
Yeah, I suppose vendor trash is a thing. God, that's grindy, though. Okay, so he's up at the lighthouse. A lot of content in Seafront I missed in part 1.
If only our harvests weren't so poor lately.
Yeah, I bet. I didn't exactly go completionist on it. I could have stopped and done side quests and stuff before the midway point, but... I decided to just go with the natural flow of the game. Hey, you ever seen a treasure map before? A treasure map? Yeah, a treasure map, you know? A map that shows you where to find buried treasure? I'm collecting them. My lifelong dream is to one day roll naked in a pile of sweet, sweet treasure. Power to you, dude. That's an interesting plan. So that's why I'm looking for a new treasure map or two. If you find one, bring it on over to me, alright? The damaged map. Sure thing. I guess I should know where to look for a treasure map before telling the guy sure thing. One could hardly expect to stumble across such a thing lying on the ground. Perhaps we should look for a place where old documents are stored. Old documents, huh? I mean, the easy answer is the library. Could also be the guts of Emil's mansion. There's a long quest line involving the lighthouse lady that is one of those, oh god, both options are sad choices at the end. Yeah, I wouldn't expect anything else from this game. Alright, we're going to Seafront. We're doing it the long way because I want to farm items, I guess. And see how badly I've shred things now. Right, they're the updated monsters. It's unset now. I'm guessing clay is used in farming. That book's name was Rub Rum. Merber. Oh, excuse me. How many medicinal herbs do I actually have? Oh! Right! I ran out of healing items, huh? I should talk to people here. I haven't actually talked to anyone in Seafront. Oh, it's you. Yeah, this place has changed a lot since last you came. The shades in the southern plains have pretty much cut us off from the rest of the world. And don't even mention that weird black scroll disease that's going around. Nope, I don't have the Phoenix Spear. Yeah, I was about to say, they live in a port town. It also never really answered anything about the Black Scrawl. Fixing that was the focus of the first part, but it just kind of dropped off the plot. Supposedly it came from Noir, but we know almost nothing about it mechanically. The Black Scroll happens when a shade goes nuts, their corresponding replicant gets sick. Huh. Now, how does that even work? If new replicants are being born and dying all the time, and the shades are the humans that were alive when the magic apocalypse happened, how does anything match up anymore? Our town is dying. With all the land routes cut off, people keep sailing away on boats and never returning. God damn those shades, it's all their fault.
You know what?
I heard the guy in this house died 4 years ago. Probably a quest line I missed. The use of when is a bit inaccurate, but you get what I'm saying.
Hi there.
I can't play by the sea anymore, so I'm playing in town. Boring.
Hello.
There's not much left, but take a look around. Stock up by the time you return. And there aren't too many entry points into town, so we've kept shade damage under control. Our land routes to other towns are all under siege, so trading has become difficult. Oh, Alana's use of when. Replicants and Gestalt are tied at the hip The cloning process uses the Gestalt as a template for replicant creation. When Gestalts relapse, the system no longer recognizes, and not only does the replicant begin to degrade, no more cloning can occur. But people are being born. They're not being cloned, they're being born. Like, do children come from the stork?
Well, hello.
The fishermen are having a terrible time of it. I hardly know what to make for dinner anymore. Yes, and that stork's name is Bobola.
Yo!
3 years ago, a shade washed up on shore. Ever since then, we've been telling people to stay away from the water. Now, neener, I'm going. Aw, only a couple seals. Okay, it's alive. With the way things are these days, I can't afford to keep giving my girl gifts. Now she won't even talk to me. Sounds like a shitty relationship, dude. Start of the game, there's a lot of shades that don't attack. They didn't attack?
Hey!
Hey, you got a moment? You used to be friends with the lighthouse lady, right? Friends is a strong word. As I remember it, we basically hated each other. Oh. Well, you at least talked to her, right? Could I ask you for a favor? What's the job? The lighthouse is in good shape now, but it's going to wear out eventually. We'd like to have replacement parts ready. Can you get the parts from the junk heap? I'm sure the lighthouse lady would be appreciative wherever she is. I can't believe I'm helping her again, but alright, I'll do it. Thank you. I think we'll need 10 broken lenses and 10 broken batteries. I think I have those. While you're at it, 10 mysterious switches would be nice too. I don't think I have 10 mysterious switches.
Sup?
Okay, switch. Lenses, batteries, switches. I have 4 mysterious switches and 1 broken lens. Yeah, that's going to take some grinding. So if the black scroll is when a replicant shade goes nuts, what happens when the replicant shade gets fucking murdered? Nothing as far as we know, but they can't be cloned again. The killing shades are contributing to the slow decline of replicant humanity. I think Popola would stop you from murdering all of humanity then. You'd think. No, the shades you encounter at the start of the game attack you. I remember them attacking me. Right, I can't jump down from there. don't attack, they just run around. One's just outside of town after the time skip. Not the ones in Walmart? The Shades and their dark illness have torn this town apart. Where's everyone hiding? So wait, if Yona had the Black Scroll because her Gestalt had gone nuts, how was her Gestalt fixed and in her body later? I wish I could eat steak for dinner again. Just once. Hi there. Did you need some bait? No. The Shades... Okay, I've already seen that.
Hello, dearie.
Shaman fish. Ever since Shades started appearing in the plains, the port's been almost deserted. 5 years ago, I splurged my money and ate like a king. Now I'm lucky to get one meal a day. I assume stuffing a soul back in its meat burrito fixes whatever separation anxiety it has. That bloom in this area sucks. Why bother anymore? Ain't nobody left to buy my fish anyway. Might as well drink to pass the time. Just go easy, alright? What are we going to play today? So basically what you're saying is that everyone who's born, they're born naturally, but they always are a copy of some shade that hasn't gone nuts yet. Please, you have to help me. My wife's got the Black Scroll. Tell me what I need to do and I'll do it. Really, I'll do anything. Quit drinking? Give to charity? Sacrifice my life for hers? Come on. Please, I'm begging you here. Poor guy. Jeez, we can't play anywhere now. The Shades are wreaking havoc with our shipments. We risk our lives every time we deliver something.
Sup?
Things used to be a lot safer. Now you put your life in your hands whenever you set foot out of town. Still, people need my deliveries, so I don't really have a choice. My understanding is no one is born naturally anymore. They're all clones. Popola really does stork it up and bring them to the clones of their parents. Pregnancy doesn't happen to anyone, so no one knows that's how babies used to be made. Huh. Still nothing here. Probably just for a quest. Yeah, Emil's a real kid. I haven't heard from my brother lately. I sure hope he's alright. He looks like that because he got eaten by his super weapon sister and turned into that. It was fucking weird. I'm bored. All we ever do is run around all day. I can't play in the water, so I'm playing here instead. I miss the water.
Hello, dearie.
Ah, it's you. I've heard a great many stories about you. Making quite the name for yourself, hmm? I don't know about that. Oh, no need to be so modest. After all, I may have a job for someone with your particular talents. I'm listening. I need you to retrieve some cargo from a ship that wrecked at sea. To recover it all would be a monumental task, so you should concentrate on 3 crates of particular importance. This cargo is likely washed ashore in all the far-flung corners of the world, so it will be a task of some difficulty. Can I count on your assistance? Sure. Ah, excellent, excellent. Oh, and one more thing. Whatever you do, you must not unseal the cargo. Well, now I'm curious. Why can't I open it? Well, there were some rather unique products that I was shipping. If you were to see them, it might place me in something of a dilemma. Hey, you're the gal with the money. You don't want me to look? Fine, I won't look. She knows how dildos are used. Let's see if one's washed up here. There's only so many shores to see. Aha! It's a box. I think this is one of the pieces of cargo that washed ashore. I get to choose! Oh! Oh, man! Welcome back, Rogitation. I'm not sure I'm going to be finishing any side quests in this playthrough, so I might as well look inside. I can't back out. It's too late. Excuse me. I'll look inside. No offense to that lady, but I'm not carrying around some box unless I know what's inside. Have you assuaged your guilt with that feeble excuse? Then I suggest we... Hello? What have we here? Whatever it is, it's been waterproof somehow, and it smells like explosives. This is some rather dangerous cargo we've been asked to find.
It is filled with strange potions and documents.
What on earth was that old woman transporting?
good to hear Vice's voice again.
Hello.
Excuse me, sir? What, me? Yes, yes. People have been talking. They say you're a very adept freelance agent. I'm a jeweler by trade, you see, and I am currently in search of a precious gem known as the Mermaid Tear. Have you ever heard of it, sir? I don't know much about jewelry. Yes, yes, of course. Why would you? Well then, let me tell you, I believe the tear to be located somewhere in this very town. I am close now. So very close. It seems like more than a business transaction for you. You see to the core of me, sir. The Mermaid Tear is one of my family's most precious heirlooms. My grandfather was the original possessor, but upon his death some 50 years ago, the jewel vanished without a trace. I have devoted my life to searching for it, and that quest has led me here. It must be in this town. Well, I'd be happy to help with the search. 1,000 thank yous, good sir. Having the assistance of a local will surely make the search that much more fruitful. Not a problem.
Hey!
Hey, I know you. You're that desperate guy who will take any job that comes along, no matter how stupid or demeaning. Okay, not the best opening, dude. That's not really how I'd phrase it, but if you've got the money, I've got the time. Dance! Dance for me! Ha ha ha! No, I'm just kidding. Listen, I've got a boat that needs some repairs. Think you can round up some materials for me? I need 5 logs, 20 dented metal boards, and 10 strip bolts. I'd ask if you're up for it, but I know you are. Haha. You're really starting to piss me off.
A trading mission, huh?
Is something the matter?
No, it's just that I've never left here before. I'm just wondering what it's like to see a new place. Someday, I hope to take Yona on a journey like this.
And someday you shall.
I will.
Aw,
I'm sure.
thanks, Vice.
Feck.
Did you just say feck? Are you Irish? Quit staring at me.
Yo!
I've apprenticed myself with a master so I can learn the way of the sailor. And let me tell you, my master is incredible. There's nothing he can't do. Hey, I've heard this before. We talked to you in the before the time skip. Now that I've got my own boat, I understand how hard the fisherman's life truly is. But I'm not going to let him down. It's a bad time to be a fisherman. There's almost no one left here to buy what we catch.
Hello.
I gave that man my boat when I retired, although I wasn't expecting much. But he surprised me by working hard and not complaining at all.
Hello.
It seems like the shades are getting smarter. I don't know how much longer we can hold out here. The damnable things are wearing armor now. I shudder to think about what's coming next. Our fishing trips get longer and longer, but there's just nothing out there anymore.
Hello.
Sometimes when I deliver something to a customer, they give me this huge ear-to-ear grin. And it's not a happy grin either. It's like they're losing their minds or something. But it gets weirder. Whenever I see that grin, the person always moves out a few days later. What the hell is this world coming to? That is a disturbing tale indeed. Alright, so here's the deal. There's a lot of fetch quests, a lot of grind quests, a lot of things you have to grind materials for. I'm not going to do that. That would be an incredibly boring series of streams. Just grinding out stuff. So I think I am going to pass on that.
Sup?
Most of them are boring, I know, because I did all of them. Gotta pad that runtime. Aha! A box! Full up on weed. What in the hell? I've never seen flowers like these. Oh, they smell terrible. I believe they can be refined into a powerful yet poisonous drug. I doubt very much that they are legal.
Medication and explosives again. Who can say what it is for? A supply this size could provide for the military of a small country. It seems you humans are incapable of learning from the mistakes of the past.
Washed up on a river. I think there's riverbank in the northern plains. Oh, we're gonna resupply right the hell now. Next to the bridge to Junk Heap. Okay. Well, that's where I'm going next. Oh, I can pick up medicinal herbs from there anyway.
I hope you find your Yona.
Nice, Kaine. Power plus 12%. Aha! A box? Oh man. I just had a scent and I realized I forgot to pick up Doritos when I was at the store last. Got him. Whoops, did not mean to do that. Unlabeled medicine bottles. There's some kind of white powder inside. Oh, given how carefully they were packed, I doubt we are dealing with sugar. Seems to be all of it. A tremendous cache of illegal goods and dangerous materials. I'd wager my title page that our client is a smuggler. So what should we do? I have to choose again. Oh. Rip indeed. Laura Narc. She's shipping drugs and weapons. I'm considering reporting her. I forgot to pick up Pop-Tarts too. Damn. No snacks for me, I guess. Well, I mean, I have saltines, but that barely qualifies. Fuck it, I'll be a narc. I don't want to be a party to smuggling, or worse. Let's talk to the guard at the entrance. Excuse me. I just realized I can't remember what we're supposed to do right now. I guess talk to Kobola? Now I'm at 10. Awesome. Right, Lost Shrine.
Sup? Man, I'm bushed.
Steal their cargo, do drugs, and blow Shadowlord up with a Moab. Slip a little poison in his drink. Does he still drink?
What's up? The lost shrine is at the other end of this cave.
And the Shadow Lord's castle lies just beyond.
Let us make haste.
Oh, hey, here's new content. Hansel. Who are you? Go away, dirty defective swine. I'm not like you, I'm different. Gotta do this long climb again. Oh man, Hot Pocket would be nice. Level 5615 EXP. I'll probably level a couple times before the end of the game. Yoko Taro, who told you this was a good idea? You again. Stop bothering me. Grimoire Vice has been taken away. Hansel is dead. There's no reason for me to exist anymore. My life is over. Just leave me alone. You. Kinda. I was killing that. 400 EXP for that one. Okay, that places me in the wrong spot, so... That was not the direction I told you to go, Nier.
This is all too easy.
Sure, now you guys show up. Wait, that's not the way up. Turn back, turn back.
Who are these guys?
Certainly not your garden variety shade.
Their bodies aren't fully functional.
I've heard of this. A cursed area.
Oh, Tyrion.
Yeah.
You weren't kidding, we're hearing through Kaine's ears. It's a big spray of blood. Twisted Ring. Fun fact, Tyrion is such an asshole that when they realized that they'd snuck into getting split into a Gestalt, they were like, fuck you, no replicant for you, and didn't make him any clones. Wow. Get in there, thank you. Block pushing puzzles are just giving me flashbacks to RE2 make and having to push the book stacks around, which is just making me want to play RE2 make again. Hey, there's level 28. $75,000 EXP. Yeah, that's gonna take a while. Final Fantasy X was your least favorite Final Fantasy? Really? What was your favorite one? Okay, you have good taste if Final Fantasy IX was your favorite, but really, Final Fantasy X is, in my opinion, a classic. One of the best in the series. Right, this guy. Oh, that's a lot of damage. Thanks for ganking my killing blow, Kane. Do yourself a favor and play through 9, Alana. It's so good. And I liked it better than 8 is not high praise. Because 8 was bad. Final Fantasy VI I've started like 6 times and never finished. I just get bored partway through. I've treated you all poorly. I mocked you, betrayed you, all because you went Gestalt before the change was complete. As you went Gestalt before the change was complete. But after all this, I think I can understand you. I think we can speak as equals. This makes me very happy. I hope we can spend the rest of our life... What was that?
Kaine, Emil, I want you to... Look, I'm sorry, right?
Sorry for what?
I'm going to talk to the villagers. I want them to let you in.
Oh, it's no big deal. Right, Kaine?
I'm used to it.
Well, you shouldn't be. It's crap, and it needs to change.
I wish everyone felt the same way.
Emil.
It's all right, really. I like camping out with Kaine. It's kind of fun, in a weird way. Sometimes we sit around the fire and tell stories, or roast...
Emil, that's enough. I got a fucking image to maintain.
Really bugs me how much it emphasizes to Titus that this is his story when really it's Yuna's. I can feel like it gets to be his story because he's JRPG protag dude, only marginally better than shoehorning what's-his-face dude into 12 as main guy. I don't know, I kind of disagree. I think it works pretty well.
We seem to be surrounded by a mob of puppies.
Okay, plus 20%. Knockback resistance 20%. Just kick the puppies aside? Okay. Alright, here we go. Oh, my neck. Ah. Don't you touch them? Damn you.
What's going on? There's dozens of them!
Stop, they can't defend themselves.
Creatures of the darkness. Lure them to the light.
That stone statue. It's the leader.
I am not their leader, it is I who rely on them. Jesus! The thing with Vaughn is that he's the pivot point for the whole party. He's the reason they come together. He's the one that links them all together. Those are my friends.
Oh, this is one stubborn son of a bitch.
Damn it! Damn it!
Hey there, sunshine. You ain't feeling bad for this freak, are ya? Ain't no turning back now. You gotta lust for blood. You gotta embrace the slaughter.
I'm gonna wait till Tyrion's done talking.
All you know is the thrill of battle. Ain't that right, Kaine?
Yeah, it's pretty damn dark. We're doing New Game Plus, Quiet Man.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Yeah, sorry, Tyrion. Not sorry. Oh, I should have let him talk. All right, let's fight Tyrion.
Kaine, are you all right? We've got to get help.
Kaine, are you all right? That's still such a ridiculous thing to ask.
We can do.
No! Kaine!
Get back.
What is that?
It's all over for you, sunshine.
Kaine! Kaine!
He's going to be talking through the whole fight, isn't he?
Look at Kaine's shade!
We've no other choice. We must strike it down.
Kaine! Please come back!
Stay your blade. Magic is required against this foe.
Blade works fine.
Let's do it!
I'll swallow you all.
Emil!
Got him.
Oh dear.
A true friend.
Kaine! Kaine!
Kaine.
I couldn't hold it back. I can't be with you.
We're always going to be together, Kaine. If you transform again, we'll just stop it again, as many times as it takes. I don't care how tough it is, we're gonna get you back. I like sleeping outside because I'm with you, Kaine. I'm able to ignore my appearance and keep going because of you. I'm weak and sad and lonely, but somehow you make me strong. You're my friend and I need you, so you can't go away.
All right. All right. Stop crying.
My biggest problem with the story in this game is that we don't see these things develop. We see like little snippets of Emil and Kaine's relationship, but we don't see it develop into something that's so powerful and important that he'd go off like this. And the same is with some of the other relationships in the game, like Nier and Kaine. Nier and Kaine is better about it, but... Yes, that's right, we're your friends, Kaine. Excuse me.
Thank you. I'm all right.
Over there. Obtained a mysterious stone fragment. What is this? I have no idea. How remarkably useless of you. Well, let's go ask Coppola. It might work better for you if you did more side quests, since a lot of them are character building, but on the other hand, the quests kind of suck a lot of the time. It's a cipher of some kind. Can you determine its meaning? I think this is the key to unlocking the Shadow Lord's castle. Here, take a look at this. I wrote down all the words I can understand. Yeah, you think it's the key to unlocking the Shadow Lord's castle. All the words you can understand. Yeah, okay, Pobola. It's called the Stone Guardian. Given that you found it in the Lost Shrine, the words must mean something. There are spaces here for 4 other fragments as well. Sacrifice. The Law of Robotics. The Memory Tree. Loyal Cerberus. The Law of Robotics probably refers to the Junk Heap, and the Memory Tree might be the Forest of Myth. But as for Sacrifice and Loyal Cerberus, I don't have a clue. No problem. If we want to fill in the words, we just run around the world killing every big monster we find, right? Oh, splendid. By all means, let us undertake a murderous rampage. We kill them or they kill us. Besides, it's the only way to reach the Shadow Lord. It won't be easy. Kill Shades and save my daughter. Easiest thing in the world. But how can you even be sure that she's... Because she is, alright? Yeah, you ellipsis at us, Pobola. So the Junk Heap and the Forest of Myth, right? I'm on my way. Please be careful. Oh, and listen, about Kaine and Emil. The villagers know how much they've sacrificed and they're thankful. It's just, they're scared, you know? People can't change overnight. I'll hurry them along the best I can, but can you please give them a little more time? I guess. 'Tis indeed murdering time. We're going for the Forest of Myth first to get that out of the way. Oh no, I'm not doing this. Also, yes, I am going to be playing Nier Automata at some point. It won't be immediately, though. The next thing I'm going to stream is Baba Is You, and following that, Final Fantasy VII Remake. Baba Is You is a puzzle game where you change the rules of the map by arranging words. Oh, I was not paying attention. I can't promise that I'll beat Baba Is You, but we are going to be playing it. I was saying that I'll be playing Baba Is You, and then I'll be playing Final Fantasy VII. So you heard pretty much all of it. I pulled the trigger on buying Final Fantasy VII this morning. Since there's apparently a lot of new content that I need
This is
to
the village
avoid
of
spoilers
Nier.
for, I might as well get it out of the way.
Truly a nightmare I hope never to experience again.
I hear you.
Oh, hello. Hi there. How are things? Huh? You want to know if anything unusual is happening? Well, I have been feeling a rather strange presence whenever I visit the Divine Tree. The Divine Tree? Yes, it's a legendary tree that exists in the heart of our village. Did you investigate the cause of this presence? Not really, no. And why not? Well, we're not really supposed to go near the tree, except for prayer. And why is that? I don't know, alright? It's just how things have always been. Weird. Spirit capsule. Okay. Is there anything new in this? Or is it the same thing as before? And I just gotta watch out for numbers and colors. Hearing Liam O'Brien's voice out in the wild is weird after watching Critical Role for so long. I know, right? So we have the trees, we have the woods. Encounter nothing but odd people. Just kind of here and there across the blackness. Green eyes. Green eyes, 63 companions. Green. I think the first time I really recognized Liam O'Brien was in Resident Evil 5, where he has a bit part. Unless, of course, time begins to rewind. Cute. Well, that's 2 pieces down. We're going to head for the junk heap next. But first, I'm going to save. I have played Bravely Default. I have not played Ashura's Wrath. Alright. I'm going to take a quick break, stretch my legs, have a snack. Be right back, guys. People are talking about sad children in games they want to hug in chat. Alright, to the junk heap. I wonder who's going to win that battle out there. Mass Effect story was great. So I'll take that as a high praise recommendation. Mass Effect cribbed hard from Star Control 2? Huh. I think I've heard of the Star Control games, but I've never seen anything about them. Okay. Okay. Ow. Well, that ends that effort. Damn it! Physical strength plus 20%. They're PC games, right? Star Control? Out of the way, Kaine. What's a 3DO? Are we gonna die, Mom? Oh, God. My child. You're almost grown up now, my child. Stay strong. Oh, is the one riding the robot in this one the kid? You must run now. Do you understand? What about you? I'll challenge them. That will give you time to escape. No, no, you can't. Be safe, my child. Be safe and happy. Promise me that you will remember your mother. Mom? Mom, wait. Let's go together. Mom, wait. Holy shit. Oh, the little jerk when he heard the squish. Mom, no, don't leave me. Mom, Mom, why? Uh-oh. Who's there?
Who are you?
I'm Khalil. What's your name?
Military defense robot P-33. You are an intruder. You must be eliminated. Error. There is something leaking from your eyes.
I'm crying, you big dumb robot. I miss my mom.
What is crying? Who is Mom?
Doesn't matter. I can't see her ever again because she's dead.
My creator is also dead. He perished hundreds of years ago.
Hundreds of years ago? Really?
874 years, 10 months, 14 days, 4 hours, and 43 minutes. 44 minutes.
Aren't you lonely?
I am incapable of being lonely, or missing others, or crying.
I'm crying because I don't want to die.
You will die.
If the humans catch me, they're gonna kill me.
Why will they kill you?
Oh.
I will not permit the humans to kill Khalil.
Huh?
Military defense robot P-33 will protect you.
You're gonna help me?
P-33 is charged with defending others. P-33 will defend Khalil.
Oh, hooray! Thanks, robot. And since we're friends now, I'm gonna call you Beepy. Oh my god.
There's gotta be tons of machinery here.
Yeah, but I don't know how much we can actually use.
Oh, wow! Check this out! It looks brand new!
Hey, be careful there.
I'm fine!
Oh no.
Huh?
Look out!
Oh, we didn't see Gideon do that in the first time, did we?
Jacob, no! No, this can't be happening!
Ugh.
No!
Man, this game is fucked up. Wow, that was scary.
The noise of the intruders caused the structure to fail. They should have proceeded with more caution. One intruder has perished.
Oh, that's terrible. Oh, that's terrible. Oh. Well, this poor kid. I don't think they were chasing me. They seemed nice. Oh my god, this game is fucked up.
The junk heap. Perhaps we should speak to the brothers. They might know something about this.
After ripping off his dead bro's arm, it messed with him. He started cutting, mutilating, eventually went too far and had to amputate. I don't want to do the boss fight. Like, that's fucked up.
again.
Little one, aren't you? You've grown. How fares your brother? My brother's been dead for 4 years. I see. Please forgive the question. It's okay. Look, I need to ask you something. What is it? You heard any rumors about shades around here? Not the little guys. I'm looking for one that's unusually big and strong. No, I haven't heard about anything like that, but I haven't really been listening. I just want to destroy robots. Slow burn villain protagonist. Rip him up. Okay. Well, never mind then. Sorry to bug you. Wait. Yes? I recently got my hands on a weapon. A very powerful weapon. I thought you might get some use out of it. I've already got the two-handed sword Iron Will. Do we not already have this weapon? Shh. These things happened the second time around. Just gonna call it out like that, huh? This sword has seen better days. Yeah, it's pretty beat up. I mean, there's potential, but it's fairly powerless right now. Can you repair it? I can repair anything with the proper material. If you'll fix it, I'll get the parts. I'm so glad I decided not to throw this out. I'm gonna need some memory alloy. Only the real big enemies on the second basement level have them, so watch yourself. Also, here's the passcode to get down there. Use it on the elevator. You got it. I don't want to do this.
It's a shame about the older lad. He was but a child.
He died protecting the only family he had left. It's a damn shame.
Brother postponed his joy for the sake of his son.
He was able to help shape the life of his...
I detect not a hint of intelligence from within that clump of eyes.
You're a bit smart, but I can smash you into a pancake!
No mere machine can hope to prevail against our intelligence and skill.
Wow, thanks, Brooke. I feel so much better.
I have to do this every time. Remember where the big robots are. There's a mysterious switch. Can't remember where to find the big bastards. Oh, so the one right next to me, okay. Interesting experience worthy of respect, but it isn't fun. Yeah, that's about how I describe how I'm feeling about it. Fucking... I'm having video encoding issues. What is going on? God damn it. I hope that fluorite doesn't disappear. God damn it. Right as I got there. Alright, well, let's get that memory alloy. Ow, stop! Ow. Got it. It's not a dilemma, it's just fucked up. Like, you have to kill the kid to progress. You can't make a choice. It's do it or stop playing the game. It's not making me feel good about playing this game. Yep, we fought that Shade and Robot in a boss fight before. Without knowing any of this shit, or being able to understand it. Oh, God. Okay, ready? What's a ship?
A large seagoing vessel that carries freight and passengers over bodies of water.
Yay, you're so great, BB. You've learned so much.
You have taught me much, Kalia. You have helped to expand my vocabulary. You have instructed me in the ways of the outside world.
Well, there's tons of stuff I don't know either. Maybe we should leave here and go explore the world. God, fuck.
Because we are friends.
That's right. Yay, it's gonna be fun. What the fuck, Yoko Taro? Like, all by itself, that has sucked all my enjoyment of this game out the window. All of a sudden, I'm no longer having fun. Some pretty impressive stuff you found. I'll start upgrading your weapon right away. I won't charge you for it either, since you helped me out. Well, actually, this is going to take a little more time than I thought. No sense in you waiting around. I'll send you a letter once it's ready. That would be great. Yep, let's go see Bobola. Like, I'm not kidding. This is making me not want to play the game anymore. What the fuck? Yeah, I'm sorry, Alana, but that... I might stop. Like, I'm sorry for shitting on one of your favorite games, but I'm thinking of stopping. The game tricks you into being a bastard, then yells at you for it later. Like, it was no choice that I, as a player, made. It was no choice that the characters made with any kind of understanding. It's just pain for the sake of pain and angst for the sake of angst. Is Automata like this? Automata guilt trips you too. Significantly better about this, but it guilt trips you too. Like, I hear people rave about how good Automata is. Which means, based on what I can see, they're raving because it's high art or something? Rather than because it's very fun? I don't want to just rage quit the game, but I'm thinking about stopping. Let's fucking talk to Popola.
Hey.
I don't think I'll be in a mood for being sad, Alana. I just don't want to be party to it. Sad quitting. Learned anything new about the Shadow Lord's key? You know, I was just going to talk to you about that. You remember the area, right? That depressing shell of a village? Not so much anymore. I just got this letter from the village chief. It's this letter. Sacrifice? This is it, but how? I brought this up with leaders from every town in the land. You did? This entire affair strikes me as a bit too convenient. I'm afraid Grimoire Weiss is correct. What? Oh, come on. What now? The area has been shut off from the world for years. Now they've not only opened trade routes, but they freely exchange information about the Shadow Lord. I agree. It seems rather unnatural. Yeah, well, it doesn't bother me. I won't get Yona back if I sit here and try to make sense of every little thing. And if there's shades there, I'll just kill them all and be done with it. God. Oh dear. Well, if that's the way you feel, I guess I won't stop you. Try speaking with the chief when you get there. Yeah, I think that I am no longer having fun.
The area.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Alana. I don't eat up the sadness like you do, I guess.
What a soul-crushing place.
I'm sorry. I know you got me this game, and I know you've really been looking forward to me playing it. I'm so sorry, Alana, but I can't do it. I can't do it. So I am going to call it quits on this game. And I'm going to reconsider whether I'm going to play Automata. If it's anything like this. Jesus. What the fuck, Yoko Taro? Yeah, I'm sorry, guys, but I'm not going to finish this. I couldn't take it, I don't think, and it's already sucked the fun out of the game for me. Games have a message. What's the message here? What's the message here? It's... The game says one thing to you and it never contradicts it for the whole first playthrough. And now it just springs on you that you've been murdering people all along. I've never bought into tragedy as a message. It's an emotion people want to experience. It's... Okay, I guess I see that. Yoko Taro wants to tell a story about how video games center their morality around their protagonist. The message here is that there is no black or white, just two sides working against each other for a similar goal. Pisses me off. Sorry, guys. But... Yokotaro in interviews has said that he was inspired by the 9/11 attacks and how people self-justify atrocity. Ugh. That's some heavy shit. Well, that's going to be it for this stream. I may play some Baba tonight. I may just watch some YouTubers play video games or whatever. Play something happier like Silent Hill 2. But yeah, I don't think there will be another stream tonight. I think Baba will happen on Thursday. Man, I could have done my taxes instead of doing this. But I also hate off. Okay, well, I won't play off then. Well, that's a bummer. But thank you guys for tuning in. It was fun until very recently. The next thing you'll see me stream is Baba Is You. I'll be doing that on Thursday. The next thing you'll see me live blog is the final episode of Steven Universe, which I'm already melancholy about. What the fuck? So, thank you guys for tuning in. I will hopefully see you for Baba Is You. Have yourselves a nice day.